Hi there, good afternoon. You're catching us live. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now. I am Snehisha. With me is Ajesha Adhwari. Yes, the key highlight of the day has been that 25 bips rate cut that's come in from the MPC. The governor announced in his speech wherein he has hiked the GDP guidance and lowered the inflation guidance for FY26 and subsequent quarters as well. So that looks good, and the market has taken that rate cut of 25 bips very positively. A 0.4% uptick coming in on the Nifty that has been quite range bound and quite subdued over the course of the week so far. We 26,131. So yes, we were struggling to even hold on to the 26,000 mark today, and we've seen a very healthy 120, 130 odd point rally from the day's low after the MPC policy outcome was announced. On the flip side, Sensex also up 0.3%. India VIX further cool off of 3%, and now we're below 10.5 on the India VIX. So maybe a point of concern or a beginning of concern over here. But Nifty Bank looking healthy, 0.5% uptick coming in over here as well, looking very good. It's actually the banking, financial and the NBFC names that are doing very well on the back of this rate cut. You have Shriram Finance, Bajaj Finserv. These are some of your top Nifty 50 gainers, gains anywhere between 2 and 3%. But Ashesha, what's looking good to you in the market right now?
Well, yes, up the market very well, and we will also have RBI Governor address the media very shortly. We'll cut into that, but before that, yes, 26,135, and markets clearly are cheering the kind of outcome that came in from the MPC today. In terms of individual stocks, we have Shriram Finance. That one is up a solid 2.5%. The entire NBFC basket continues to remain in focus. We also have Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv, both of them gaining in excess of 2% in trade today. On the losing side, HUL, that one is down 3.5%. Interglobe Aviation, on the back of that trouble which flyers are facing, continues to remain under pressure. Interglobe Aviation is down 2.5%. Sun Pharma, Trent, Tata Motors, Adani Ports. These are also some of the other stocks on the losing side, all of them amongst the top gainers on the Nifty 50 index. In terms of broader markets, we have several individual stocks which continue to shine bright. Something like a KIOCL. That one was locked in upper circuit of 5% early morning. We also have Route Mobile. That in fact is down 5.5% as we speak. So Route Mobile is under pressure. M&M Financial meanwhile is up 5%. Mass Financial is also up 3.5%. Delta Corp, Indus Tower, SBI Cards, all of them continue to gain in excess of 2.5% as we speak. So the entire banking and financial services sector basket and the real estate and allied sectors continue to remain in focus today on the back of that MPC outcome that came today. So all eyes will be on that, and any kind of commentary that comes in from RBI Governor, all eyes will be on that, and the entire allied sectors also continue to remain in focus. In fact, let's also put the spotlight on some other individual stocks which continue to remain in focus today. One, of course, is Interglobe Aviation, but we also have ITC on the back of a block deal that took place where British American Tobacco, in fact, they went ahead and increased the stake sale quantum as well. So that continues to remain in focus. ITC is the stock that I'm talking about. Interglobe Aviation, of course, is down 3% on the back of the problems that the company is facing. But let's go across and listen in to what RBI Governor has to say. He is addressing the media.
That, as you have also alluded, and as I mentioned in my speech and in my assessment, the important thing is that inflation is very benign. It has been benign, 3.5%. You know, if you exclude food, which has been volatile. Last 2 years, it has been 3.5%. And going forward, too, if you exclude gold and precious metals, silver, our expectation is that it is going to be very benign. Now, whether that opens up a policy for further rate cuts, that will be, getting into speculation. I don't want to get, into that question. For me, the more important thing now is that having reduced the policy repo rate by further 25 basis points, we have to now, concentrate on the monetary policy transmission. And considering the fact, that inflation is going to be very benign, I think let it first transmit into the real economy, and then we'll see, as to how inflation behaves, how the growth inflation dynamics behave, and we take it policy by policy. Second question on the Rupee. See, our stated policy always has been that we allow the markets to determine. I mean, we don't target any price levels or any bands. We allow the markets to determine the prices. We believe that the markets in the long run especially are very efficient. It's a very deep market. We saw this earlier in February. The rupee to dollar had climbed up to almost 88, and within a period of 3 months, it came back to below 84. So these fluctuations, this volatility does happen, can happen. Our effort has been always to reduce any abnormal or excessive volatility, and that is what will continue to endeavor. Our external sector, as I also mentioned in my statement, is very strong going forward. We do believe that we are having sufficient reserves. Current account is very manageable at about 1% or so. And given the strong fundamentals of our country, we should get good capital flows as well going forward. So I think we are in a very comfortable situation insofar as the external sector position is concerned.
Thank you, sir. We'll take some more questions from our left side before we move here. So for the next question, I will ask Mr. Mayur Shetty from Times of India. Mayur, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Governor. Governor, historically, the current account deficit was of around 2% was seen to be manageable because we have this capital flows. But now, with this flows coming down, is there a change in what you see as manageable? Is it around the present level? And a second part of the question was, you cut the rate despite the recent volatility in the rupee, and many forecasters had revised their expectation. So, does this is it reflecting your comfort with the situation in the forex market?
Yeah, see, as mentioned even earlier in one of my post MPC conferences, we are mostly the MPC is mostly driven by growth inflation dynamics, especially given the fact that ours is a domestic demand driven economy. I mean, our dependence on the external sector, it's a small percentage of our total GDP. So we continue to do so, and that's why while these factors are of course considered by the MPC, but given the growth inflation dynamics, this decision was taken. Your first question, I think I don't have more to add to what I told in response to the first question by Lata, which is that we are at a very comfortable. I do not expect the CAD to be as high as 2%. Some of the numbers that you are giving out. And so on the external sector side, we are very comfortably positioned.
Thank you, sir. I will now request Ankur Mishra of ET Now to ask the next question. Ankur, please.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Good afternoon, Governor. I want to draw your attention towards the growth revision this time. You have revised it upwards. While surprises are always welcome, but last 2 quarters, the growth has been much more than what RBI has forecasted. So therefore, I want to understand what has been reasons for that. And more importantly, last time when I asked you a question about the aspiration, you mentioned 7% plus should be the aspiration. Now that you have forecasted more than 7%, 7.3% now, do you think the aspiration should move towards 8%?
So you could have also have said 9%. 7 plus can mean, anything, right? So that is the baseline. When I said 7, that is really the baseline, because these are difficult things to actually estimate as to what, our potential GDP is. Of course, aspirations can be, can be very high. And so having delivered, of course, 8% now on an average last 3-4 years, certainly this is certainly, well within our reach, and we should certainly, aspire for anything which is in that region.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you, sir. I'll now request Anup Roy of Bloomberg to ask his question. Anup, please.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, the markets were expecting some kind of Rupee measures in this policy. And in October, we have seen RBI was probably intervening heavily, but it stopped intervening and then Rupee rapidly moved to 90. So are you comfortable with this kind of level for Rupee?
I don't have anything more to add than, what I think you people don't have more questions.
Yeah.
It seems.
Sir, I will then ask, sir,
same question,
Sir, I will then ask that how does
repeated.
this dollar-rupee swaps help in this context? Because it is not infusing.
It's more of a liquidity measure.
Yep.
It's a liquidity measure. It's not to support the rupee. And your first question I also already answered, that we don't target any level, whether it is whatever levels are there. So we don't target any level.
Okay, that's the word coming in from the RBI Governor, Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, in the press conference following the policy outcome today, wherein there's been a unanimous rate cut of 25 bips. The GDP guidance has been hiked significantly and the inflation guidance has been lowered significantly on the other side. To the question of Ankur right now, he did answer that GDP growth has been strong and they're aspiring for higher growth as well. So we'll see how the markets react to this just on the other side of this very short break.